Hello and welcome to Coaster Junkies. This is a podcast featuring Avid theme park goers, and we interview them as we go through their experiences and their opinions on how theme parks are going today. I am your host, Danny Terry. Today I am joined by the unofficial mayor of Busch Gardens, Mr. James Earl Williams Jr. James, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for joining us. And today we're actually going to be talking about the wonderful theme park in Williamsburg, Virginia, Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So if anyone has any comments, please feel free to chime in. If you would like your name to be shown on the comments, it is actually best to try to go to the page under Coaster Junkies on our live stream. If you go to streamyard.com/Facebook and just make sure that you allow StreamYard to see your comments so that way we could show your name and your photo next to your comments. So if you have any questions for James, please feel free to chime in. James goes to the theme park. You actually go to the theme parks like almost every weekend. Is that right?
Yes. Every weekend. I've been since January. I've been every weekend except for 3 weekends.
Wow. So what keeps you going?
Oh, I love amusement parks. I love roller coasters. If it got wheels on it and it rolls, I love it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things we can relate to. There's so many, and that's one of the things that a lot of people can relate to is roller coasters and theme parks, and that's just one area that so many people love, and it's just the adrenaline rush, and you're definitely taken away from reality. It's escapism. So and especially during COVID, it's really a welcome experience. So talk about what's your favorite all time theme park? Obviously, Busch Gardens is one of them, but
Well, yes, Busch Gardens has become my favorite theme park, but before COVID, I really didn't have a favorite park, but King's Dominion was kind of on top. But since COVID has shut everything down and Busch Gardens opened back up, they were the only park close to me that I could attend like on a regular basis. So Busch Gardens has become my favorite park as of now.
And you actually go so often that there's a Facebook fan group for Busch Gardens Williamsburg. It's called Busch Gardens Williamsburg Insiders. So it's actually
Yes.
consists of fellow fans, and also there's actually some Busch Gardens employees on there as well. So you go so often that the group has affectionately come to call you as the unofficial mayor of Busch Gardens, and you kind of become like a celebrity in the parks. People always kind of like, hey, let's see if we can find Mr. Mayor today. And then, of course, they enjoy taking selfies with you and everything.
Oh,
So
yes.
how has your experience been, seeing these other people, these other avid theme park fans, and then they recognize you?
Well, it all started out, like you said, with the Facebook page, BGW Insiders. Um, I was posting my adventures, in going to the parks, and somebody posted. They said that they commented they should make you the mayor of Busch Gardens. Yeah, you should have your own parking spot, and it just went from there. So I mean, people saw that comment. Even a editor from the newspaper, she's seen it and she wanted to know more about it. She did a write up in the Virginian Pilot, and that was back in like January. And so it kind of went from there and it kind of exploded. And so when everybody comes to the park, I'll post something, before I go to the park. And then they said, oh, I hope I get to see you. I said, I'll be there. They said they will be there. So once we get in the park, you'll get the feeling, like somebody's watching you. And then you'll hear people say, is that the mayor? Is that the mayor? And I hear them say that, and I just turn around, look at them, and say, "Yes, I'm the mayor." Yep.
And you also love going throughout the parks, with your camera and taking the photos. So, what is one of the things that draws you the most to amusement parks? What's the appeal for you?
Well, I grew up taking pictures. My mom, she loved taking pictures, so I just kind of brought it back. I had put it down for a while, and I had bought this camera, and it didn't do exactly what I thought it was going to do, but I kept using it and using it, and then I wanted to post to the page and to my page, immediately. So I kind of invested in another camera that does that. It's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi friendly, so I could post exactly right to the page right then. But what draws me to the park is, you know, right now you can call them my fans, because I'm the unofficial mayor. They made me that. So I enjoy going to the park every weekend, and just waiting for somebody to come up and say, "Are you the mayor?" And then I was on the ride this weekend on Apollo's Chariot, and it returned to the station, and there was, of course, the people waiting in line to get on the ride, and we were sitting out there in the sun, and one of a family said, "Oh, there's the mayor." I just threw my hands up, waved at him. It's like when somebody recognize me and see me, they'll speak. And, I do have some that say, "I didn't want to speak to you. I didn't want to interrupt. I mean, speak." Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Yep.
So, how has been your opinion of how the amusement parks have been handling things during the pandemic?
Well, I think they handled it pretty well because, like they're understaffed and they're doing the best they can. So, when they get enough staff, they can open up everything, and, everybody gets trained. And, it takes a village to raise a child. So it takes a village to keep Busch Gardens up and running.
So, what's your favorite ride at Busch Gardens?
Oh, the mighty mythical Griffin is my favorite ride. Then might be Verbolten. Then the legendary Loch Ness. And let's see, maybe that was three. So maybe the fourth one would be Apollo's. Yep.
Yeah, Apollo's Chariot is one of my favorites. I've always loved that roller coaster. I mean, I know it doesn't go upside down, but
Right.
you get so much airtime on that first drop. I think
Oh, yeah.
it's like 190 feet or close to it. It's almost close to 200 feet. And then of course Griffin, love that one, and especially, and you have got like anyone who hasn't gone on Griffin, they want to go on Griffin. Go on the front row. That is the
Yes.
absolute best experience because you actually hang over for a few seconds, and then you're going. It's a dive coaster, so you're going straight down at a 90-degree angle, and it's so much fun. And of course, they have a little product placement for Coca-Cola right there because they
Yeah.
actually,
Say
it's
ah.
pretty comical too. Yeah, say ah. So of course, that's like as everybody's screaming going down the roller coaster, they're all saying ah.
Right. I did a video at one point on that. I have permission to wear the video glasses. And I mean, somehow I timed it just right. I wasn't planning on doing this. We were going up the hill and coming around the curve, and we got to the point where they tilt you over to let you drop. And I told everybody that was on the coaster, I said, "Hands up. We're getting ready to drop. Say ah." And I mean, it just happened. It was perfect timing. We dropped as soon as I said it.
Yeah,
Mm,
it really is a ingenious product placement, and it's really the perfect thing, to advertise kind of encourage people because that's what they're going to say as they're coming down the roller coaster. So,
Oh yes.
and you can't help, like even if you're trying not to scream, you cannot help to not scream.
Right. Right.
You just kind of release all of that, and it's the adrenaline rush of it. It just
Yes.
helps yourself to get more into it. So,
Hmm.
and I've always enjoyed going. And one of the coasters I definitely miss. I'm actually wearing my
The
Big
Big
Bad
Bad
Wolf
Wolf.
T-shirt here. So
Oh yes.
that was a classic, and unfortunately, it closed back in 2009. There was a lot of issues with, with some of the parts, and they it just ended up being more economical for them to just unfortunately have to tear down the whole roller coaster, and they replaced it with Verbolten. But it is still nice for them to have little nods to Busch Gardens,
Oh yes.
nods to Big Bad Wolf on the ride. They had there's some wolves howling. Not to give any spoiler alerts, but there's wolves howling in there, and the train cars look like an actual like a tour car, and on the license plate, they each have a license plate, and there's little, little license plate name on there. And for the
Yeah.
one, there's one that's I think it's called Wolf Xing, so Wolf Crossing.
Wolf Crossing. Yes.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed about Verbolten is that depending on which car you're on, if you notice the license plate for that car, that's usually an indicator for what your experience is going to be like. So, like if it's a
Right.
wolf crossing, you're going to hear the wolves howling.
Wolves.
If it's fallen, I think there's another one that says fallen rocks, and you might hear like the sound of fallen rocks. And yeah, so there's
Yeah.
actually
Once you get in the Black Forest.
yeah. Once you get in the Black Forest, it's really depending on the car that you're on. You have a little different of an experience. Like sometimes, I think you're dealing with spirits of the forest. Other times you're dealing with wolves. You might hear some lightning crashes. So it's not. It's a different experience each time. So it's really you're actually getting a different ride each time you're going through it because it's
Yep.
an effects house that it goes through. So it's so much fun. So, as far as with Busch Gardens, what would you say that like what could they improve upon on based on what they currently have? Like, what can the park do to improve things for the future moving forward?
Well, that's a little bit beyond my control.
Right, but like, what do you think? What do you think that they could do to help to improve the park?
Mm,
Not, I'm not
that's
trying to
kind
put
of
you on the spot.
no, no,
Yeah,
you're
no,
not putting me on the
that's a
spot.
tough
That's just
question.
that's really a tough one there. Um,
Like, what would you like to see done? That could probably help to improve your experience.
well, I always have a great experience when I go, but it's never the same. Um, the toll booths, as far as going in, if if it was possible to expand and make it wider, I know that's probably a hard thing to do, but it would be better to as far as many people that go to help some of the traffic back further out on the highway. If that could be done, or either let the guests in a little earlier so that it wouldn't, you know, that it wouldn't be backed up out on the highway because, there are a lot of people that like going to Busch Gardens. Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I haven't quite liked about going through the toll booth is the fact that they only have one person in each booth, and
Yeah.
there's a lane on each side of the booth, so
Right.
that one person is having to alternate between the two lanes when
Yeah.
things just go so much smoother if they have two people in
Yeah.
the toll
I
booth.
think on the
Now,
real busy days, they do
yeah,
have to, because I've been there, when they have to, and it does go a little bit smoother and faster. But, like you said, they're understaffed right now. So quite sure once they get the staff back up the top notch, they'll have somebody out there at each booth. Yep.
Yeah, like all theme parks worldwide are understaffed,
Oh,
especially right
yes.
here in the United States are understaffed. You know, because it's not that they're not hiring; they are hiring. They just unfortunately can't get the staff for people to come in because there's a lot of people that are, you know, don't want to really come in to work in an amusement park during in the middle of a pandemic, which is understandable. But things
Yeah.
have gotten so much better. Theme parks they have a lot of you know policies put into place where they just make sure people are social distancing. They have sanitizing stations all throughout the parks,
Hmm.
and you know now most theme parks are allowing those who are fully vaccinated to be maskless, at least walking throughout the park. I think some of the amusement parks still require you to wear a mask on the ride, but
Hmm.
Busch Gardens doesn't require that anymore. As long as you're
Right.
fully vaccinated. Disney World, they're loosening on the rules a little bit. So it's a much more enjoyable experience, but it's like if you're fully vaccinated, because like if you're not vaccinated, they still encourage anyone who's not to just wear a mask, but you're still welcome to come to the park. So but I
Hmm.
think honestly, with all those regulations, they've been doing a great job with what they have. And you know yes, things are understaffed, not everything is open, and that's one thing for a lot of people to understand, that they may be going to the park for the first time. So just realize that you're not going to get the full and 100% experience that park is normally like
Right.
pre-COVID. So
Yeah.
there are going to be some things closed.
Yeah, and they have that printed, basically on the website. If you check out the website before you go, you can see what's open that day, or restaurants that are open, that are closed, the rides that are operating, and just check it out very thoroughly, and your questions can be answered.
That is very true. Yeah, just go to each theme park's website. So most of them actually have social media pages: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just go on those pages and see the information that they're giving you, what's available, and they're really trying to make it as great as experience as they possibly can for you.
Hmm.
Even given the limitations of COVID. But so, what is actually as far as roller coasters? What is the thing that you like the most about them? What keeps you going on to them?
Speed. Speed is my number one factor of riding a roller coaster. Then you got the height. The higher, the better. And then, I know some of them got the launches, but if it's over 70, I love it.
Got to be
Yep.
fast. Got to have a big drop.
Yes.
Yeah, and also be smooth as well. Not too
Yes.
jerky.
Right.
Yeah, because I when I go on Loch Ness, more so, it's a great coaster. It's a classic. It's still to this day the only remaining interlocking loop coaster. It's just gotten a little rough over the years. So, but she's over 40 years old. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
what can you expect?
Right.
But it's always
But
a great ride. So
but I
yeah,
still have to ride it when I go.
it's a tradition. Got to go on it. I know when I
Hmm.
go with my wife and also with friends, we always try to ride Loch Ness first, and then we'll go throughout the rest of the park. Most of the time we'll actually go counterclockwise. We'll go through Ireland and then go through the rest
Hmm.
of the park, and then
Right.
sometimes we do go clockwise. Like we'll go through Festa Italia, and then go
Right.
through the rest of the park. Usually we turn right after we go
Yeah.
to Loch Ness.
Now that has gotten hot. Yeah, you hit Escape from Pompeii first. Yeah.
Oh yeah, hit up the water rides. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
there's three water rides, but currently one of them is closed. The two that are open is Escape from Pompeii and then Le Scoot. That's a log flume ride. Escape from Pompeii. There's only one drop, but it's really the experience. It's we're without going through any spoilers, there's a lot of effects inside. So,
Right.
expect more than just getting wet. So, but it is
Hmm.
Pompeii. So, for any of those who know their world history, Pompeii was destroyed by a volcano. So just keep that in mind.
Right.
Unfortunately, Roman Rapids, man, I'm looking for that to return though. But I think it's my understanding they're actually trying to get some new cars for it. I
Yeah,
think
from
they're
what I
trying to get
heard,
some
yeah,
new boats.
new boats, yeah, new boats and staff members. Yep.
Yeah, that too. That's the one thing. Like all the parks and a lot of businesses too are just trying to get
Oh yeah.
more people working for them. So, what type of roller coaster would you like to see next come to Busch Gardens?
Well, they've been thinking about that 354-foot drop. So whatever, like I said, the need for speed, whatever they bring, I'm hoping that is has plenty of speed and plenty of height. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, kind of have to be a little world record breaking too. It needs to be like,
Yes.
like the fastest or the tallest, or you kind of because those roller coaster builders are, they're trying to generate headlines once that roller coaster is done. So,
Exactly. Yep.
you had Loch Ness Monster, which the world's first interlocking loop roller coaster, and all the other roller coasters that were like it are they no longer exist. So
That's
Loch
right.
Ness is the only interlocking loop roller coaster in the world.
Hmm.
So yeah, you just got to have those those Guinness World Record kind of breakers that you have.
Yeah. Yeah. They
So
got to put their mind to working to come up with something that's different.
mhm.
Yep.
So one of the rides that was in Busch Gardens was Dark Castle. It was a dark ride. It was in the Germany location. It was a 4D experience, but it was more than just like your 4D movie. It was an actual ride. So it was for those who've been on Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure down in Orlando. Similar to that, where it's actually going based on a track ride, and then there's different rooms with projection screens, and then so it's really a mixture of projection technology and also physical sets. So in regards to that, would you like to see another dark ride replace Curse of Dark Castle, or would you like to see them bring it back?
That would be nice because I never did experience Dark Castle. I never got the opportunity to ride it. So if they would bring it back, that would be great to me. But you got some people that might not think it was a good ride. But from the comments that I've seen on Facebook, most people would like to see it come back also.
Yeah, and the ride building actually still exists. Like the exterior, they haven't even taken down. It still looks like the Dark Castle. It was actually based on a legend in Germany where it was like Mad King Ludwig. They kind of based the storyline on that. And honestly, I think if they can do more rides like that, that would really more immerse you into the experience. Because that right there isn't like more on the level of like with Disney World or with Universal, where they
Hmm.
actually starting from the queue line, they immerse you into the story of that ride.
Right.
Um, and then, some of them are still like that, like Verbolten's like that. And then part of the queue line for Loch Ness Monster, you see some artifacts that look like it's from a Loch Ness expedition.
Hmm.
Um, but a lot of the ride, and they do have some theming throughout the queue lines, but they're more of like your typical type queue line. So, but you have parks, the Disney parks, and then you have Universal parks where from the get go, as you go through the entrance, you already start to feel like you're part of the story of that ride.
Oh
So
yeah.
it kind of, yeah. So that's the whole appeal of escapism. You're escaping from reality, your
Hmm.
everyday life, and you're going into the world of that theme park. So,
Yep.
and that's why we here at Coaster Junkies and James does as well. We enjoy theme parks because it's way more than just the amusement park rides themselves. Like you're fully immersed in the world of that park,
Mhm.
so you feel like you're in a whole nother world that is different from this one. And sometimes we need a break from the real world.
Oh, yes, yes.
So, also, James, what are your thoughts on Pantheon? To this day, Pantheon's brand new roller coaster coming to Festa Italia, and Busch Gardens has just continued to say, it's coming summer 2021, coming 2020. They're being more vague with the release date. What are your thoughts of it not being open yet?
Well, I'm ready for it to be open, but I have no control of that. So I just wait patiently wait. So, good things come to those who wait. So, once they get it where it needs to be and, SeaWorld says you can open it, I'll be there.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a fun one because it's a multi-launch coaster. It actually goes both forwards and backwards. So Tempesto was like that too, but there's actually a full drop where you're actually upside down for at least a good few seconds.
Yes.
It's going to be absolutely
Yes.
crazy
And
kind of
speaking of
experience.
Tempesto, speaking on that note, I had the idea of if they could cycle it through twice when it
Hmm.
comes back into the station to stop, instead of stopping it, let it run through one more time. That's just a thought. Something that ran through my mind. Somebody hear the idea, they might do it. Who knows?
Yeah, that'll definitely add to the intensity of Tempesto.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a great ride. I always have a little bit of a trouble like getting in and out because the way the harness is built, like it's around your legs and also it
Yeah,
goes over you as well. So it's a
it's a
little
tight spot.
a little tight trying to get out of that. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, it is very fun. I honestly wish that they had more space to build it. It just feels kind of cramped
yeah,
right there, right by Apollo's Chariot, but it definitely adds to the theming. And Pantheon, that's actually named after. There's a temple that's in Rome. It's for like the different Roman gods and goddesses. So hopefully,
yeah,
maybe they can add some theming around that. So there's actually different multiple launches, multiple drops and loops, and each part of the roller coaster is based on like a different,
different guy.
Roman god or goddess.
Yeah,
And it's definitely supposed to be a record breaker um, with with the technology and with the experience that they're having. So,
hmm,
but currently, the official opening, it's been kind of vague. So officially, they say opening in 2021. Of course, there's been a lot of speculation. Some people were saying maybe Memorial Day weekend, maybe 4th of July weekend. We still have not seen an opening for Pantheon yet. So, but we're absolutely looking forward to experiencing that. It's a upcoming steel roller coaster. It's under construction, being manufactured by Intamin, and it's will feature 4 launches, 5 airtime hills, and a 95-degree beyond vertical drop. Yeah, and I've actually seen that. And it looks like you're going up forwards, and then it reverses through that vertical drop. So
hmm.
that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh yes,
So
can't wait.
yeah, and we definitely enjoy Busch Gardens and everything that the park has to offer, everything that amusement parks have to offer. So what so as far as like for coming all the way from North Carolina, you actually don't have any amusement parks close to you, is that right?
Yeah, Busch Gardens and the Virginia amusement parks are my closest. It's like 3 hours and 15 minutes
Oh
straight
wow.
shot from my home. And then there's another theme park that's in North and South Carolina, which is Carowinds,
Hmm.
and it takes me like 4 hours from home straight shot to get there. So, I'll pick the closest. But I will go
Yeah,
to I have been to Carowinds this year.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Either way, you're going at least, 3.5 to 4 hours is still a good drive. So that's
Yeah.
dedication right there. Going to Busch Gardens, 3.5 hour drive each way,
Yeah.
going almost
And it
every
has
weekend.
it has been on my mind that while when I do the weekend trip to Busch Gardens, um, maybe one day, the last day of the weekend trip is to leave Virginia and go up to Charlotte from there, spend a day or two, and then go home.
Wow.
That be part of my weekend trip. Yep.
You ought to see if you can get like a summer home in Williamsburg or something. That
Oh,
way,
it's
you don't.
it's been crossing my mind. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Long way to drive, but hey, it's a great park, and it's most of the other parks like King's Dominion is great, but it's more of what I would call an amusement park. It's almost kind of like a permanent like a permanent state fair. It's
Hmm.
where it's really more of like a hodgepodge collection of different rides, and there's a little bit of theming, but not a lot.
Right.
And some of the there is still some of the theming, like in the Safari Village, I think it's called, area where originally Volcano was. That was a launch coaster in the style of Alpengeist. So very similar type of roller coaster as that, but I was sad to see that go.
Yeah.
In that same area, it was formerly known as the Outer Limits. Now they're calling it Flight of Fear. That's still
Hmm.
there. Anaconda's still there. Anaconda's actually gotten really rough lately.
Oh
But
yeah.
that one's very similar to Loch Ness, and I think it might have been. I wonder if Arrow, because Arrow, they were the ones that built Loch Ness Monster. I wonder if they built Anaconda, because it's very very similar type of coaster. Even
Yeah.
looks, even the coloring is pretty similar. But I enjoy King's Dominion, but I enjoy Busch Gardens a lot more because the theming is a lot better. They put a lot more effort into it,
Hmm.
um, and it's just it's been a great park, and I've definitely felt fortunate to be able to grow up close to that park, because I've actually because before I've really only been like maybe an hour from the park at
Hmm.
most. But some there are other people who are not as fortunate to be as close to the park, and but still have the dedication to still drive,
Yeah.
like you do, James. And so what would you say to try to encourage more people to come to the parks? Because a lot of these parks are struggling financially, because they don't have a lot of them want to hire more people. Some of them are kind of struggling to get by. So, what would you say to it? Encourage more people to go to their local theme park and support it.
Well, you could start out by planning. That's where it all boils down to. You have to plan. Once you get your plans together, pick a date that you want to go, a weekend or 2 or 3 days that you want to spend. Then you put, just save your money, put your money towards that plan. And once you execute all of that, when your day gets here, just take your trip, and come in and have a great time.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and just take the time off if you can. It certainly does help during the pandemic. We both can attest to that. That just because a lot of people are actually working remotely. But then again, there's people who've returned working in person. You know, you need that time to get out of the house. Go do something. And if you have the time available, we absolutely encourage you to try out your local theme park. It's
Right.
that's the ultimate escapism. Getting
Yeah.
getting away from reality and just enjoying
Excuse me.
those roller coasters. And it's that adrenaline rush, the speed, the
Hmm.
height, and best view in the park as well. So it's always
Yeah.
so much fun
This
to
has been like
go.
a dream come true for me because, actually, many of you might not know, but I'm retired. I retired at age of 49. So I have been retired 4 years as of June 1st. I've been retired 4 years. And so once I was able to actually go and go as many times as I wanted to. I didn't have no set time, to be back home. So I just planned my weekends, and I just go every weekend now. So that's been a dream come true. I've been trying to do that ever since I started to work. So my 30 years, I got my 30 years in, I retired, and so I get to basically do and go when I would like to go.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations on your retirement. And, yeah, that's excellent. Just to be able to just go whenever you want to and go to the parks. And oftentimes you even go like during the week as well, right?
Yeah, there were times that I did go middle of the week, but I like going the middle of the first of the week, Monday, Tuesday, because that's basically when there's not a lot of people there.
Right.
But during the pandemic, when Busch Gardens opened back up, I was going every Friday. I would drive up every Friday. It would be a 1 day trip, and then probably like October, I would spend one weekend. October, November, December, I spent one weekend at the park, and then come January after New Year's, that's when I basically started going every weekend. And like I said earlier, since then, I've been going every weekend. I missed 3 weekends up to now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, what are some amusement parks that you haven't been to yet that you would like for the opportunity to be able to go? Like, are you going to try to go to some other amusement parks this year?
Yes, I would like to go to what is it? Um, it's in Philadelphia. Kennywood.
Mhm.
Kennywood. I haven't been to the one in Canada. Canada's Wonderland. I would like to go there. I've been over to California, but I haven't been to Great America. I would like to get over there. Haven't been to the Six Flags in New England. Would like to go there. And there's another one close to New Jersey. I can't think of the name of it. Mm.
I think there's an amusement park at Atlantic City, I want to say, or Ocean. Yeah, Atlantic City. I think there's an amusement park there, and
Yeah, on
as
the
far as
pier.
yeah, on the pier, and then in New York
Yeah.
there's Coney Island.
Yeah, I haven't been to Coney Island either. Wouldn't mind going there. Yep.
And there's so many amusement parks out there at one. Then I think there's Hershey theme park
I've
in
been to Hershey.
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Hershey.
Um,
Six Flags in New Jersey.
mhm.
I've been to Six Flags in Texas. I've been to Magic Mountain in California. Um,
Yeah, I need to do a lot of catching up. There's only like a small handful of ones. Of course, I've been to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. I've been to Kings Dominion. I've been to Disney World, Universal. Unfortunately, that's the extent of it. So I need to do a lot of catching up. So there's
yeah,
a lot of good theme parks out there to go to.
yeah. I
So
went to Busch Gardens, Tampa this past summer.
mhm.
It was
Yeah,
pretty good.
I hear it's really nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but it wasn't like Busch Gardens here.
Yeah. Well, it's more of a really more of a zoo down in Tampa. So
Yeah, a lot of
there's
animals. Yeah, the train
yeah, a
ride.
lot of animals. So,
That's where I
but
took most of my pictures.
it's a good balance though. You have
Yeah,
animals and you have because I mean, still Busch Gardens Williamsburg does have some animal exhibits.
yeah,
I mean, it's not on the level of Tampa, but they have gray wolves, American bald eagles. They have a few different types of other eagles and hawks and owls, and of course I know they have other animals for like behind the scenes tours.
hmm
And then if they actually bring pet shenanigans back, hopefully they do. But it's our understanding like a lot of the animals that they had, I think were either put into like rescues or they ended up getting adopted out. Because
yeah,
like the animals that they got for pet shenanigans and then more pet shenanigans, they actually a lot of them ended up being rescue animals
Right.
that they trained for the show. So we would
Yeah.
absolutely love to see that come back. So
Yeah. I was.
it's a great experience. Seeing the Clydesdales as well. My wife loves animals, so every time we go to Busch Gardens, she wants to see the Clydesdales, the wolves, the eagles, and the other different animals that they have. So it is still a good balance. But of course, Busch Gardens Williamsburg has more rides than Tampa does. So, but another great park that's along those lines is Disney's Animal Kingdom down in Disney
Yeah.
World.
That's.
They also,
Yeah.
yeah, that one's a good balance, and there's a lot more rides there as well. So, but thank you, James, so much for joining us on the show.
Oh yeah.
I really appreciate having you, and we'd love to absolutely have you back on the show in the future.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
yeah, yeah. Keep it going. Keep going to the parks, and then posting. And James is on Facebook. So if you would like to, let me see if I can go to you. He is his Facebook is James Earl Williams Jr. So if you'd like to follow him, he's actually also a member of the Busch Gardens Williamsburg Insiders Group. So if you're a member of that, that is a great Facebook group to be a member of. A lot of the members just kind of giving each other advice, saying, hey, what's some of the best rides in the park, where can we go locally to eat? Because there's actually a lot of people that come out of town and then just don't know the Williamsburg area. So that's a great group to join. And we also encourage you to look on Busch Gardens Williamsburg's Facebook page and the website. So that's actually the best source to go with, is go directly to the source to see if you need any information. There's tons to do in the Williamsburg area. So anyone who wants to go to Busch Gardens, there's a lot of history, a lot of historical locations. So it's a great park to go to. Another water park is actually in the same area, also owned by SeaWorld, Water Country USA. So that one's a lot of fun. But for anyone who would like to join us on the show, maybe even be able to join with James in the future, if you'd like to join us on Coaster Junkies, please feel free to send us a message on our Facebook page. We are located on most social media at Coaster Junkies USA. So please feel free to join us in the future. And we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and YouTube as well. So for anyone who wants to come onto the show, we do encourage for our guests, we do require for you to be a theme park fan. So that's really all the requirement. There's a lot of people out there that can relate to that. But if you would like to join us, just please feel free to send us a message. And if you'd like to follow James, please feel free to look him up on Facebook and message him. He takes a lot of excellent pictures going throughout the park with his camera, and he really enjoys that. And thank you again, James, for joining us. And for anyone who wants to follow our page, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Coaster Junkies USA. And we thank you so much again for joining us today. And we hope you all have a pleasant day. Take care.